Why did you build the Capital DR roadmap, and how is it different from traditional finance or crypto education?
It flips traditional finance on its head, basically. It's the opposite, it's inversion, right? That's what I teach is inversion, right? When I started to do the opposite of what we've been taught, go to school, get a job, get a 401k, I developed this strategy because the 60/40 model is dead. The average financial advisor, when you go into an investment firm, is 60% stocks, 40% bond. Now, why is that dead? People don't talk about inflation. You have to beat inflation. Let's just do some numbers here. If we run about a 2 to 3% inflation every 35 years, your value of your currency gets cut in half. So if you think that your investment is making money, but you're not even beating inflation, then you're actually not even beating the hurdle rate. So I created Capital DR. C is cash flow, not cash, because if I store my cash, it's becoming less valuable every single time they print money, and interest rates go down, so it becomes worth less. Okay, so I take my cash and I turn it into cash flow. That's the C. Okay, every time I get paid, I give myself a pay raise. Okay, first I built cash generating businesses that create cash flow. Once I made money from those cash generating dividends, now I put it into dividend stocks that create cash flow. So I get paid and I create more cash flow. With the cash flow, outside of debts and non-negotiables, from my businesses and the cash flow from my dividends, which I multiplied richest man in Babylon, I put them into deflationary capital, assets that have fixed supplies. Okay, you can use gold, you can use silver. They are deflationary, right? Based on their utility or based on their scarcity. So the dollar is inflationary. You become poor every single year if you don't beat inflation. And these assets become more valuable because supply and demand. So I move my cash flow into deflationary assets that have supply and demand built into them. So the more the supply is gone, the more demand there is, the higher the price goes. When I profit from these assets, I take profits, I'm not a rubbernecker, I don't want you to go up and down, and I put it into P, protection. I create family banks. I use cash value life insurance. The reason why cash value life insurance gets a bad rap, number one, the agents are setting them up improperly. You're not funding them properly because they're not explaining you how to fund it properly. You need cash in them. They're cash value life insurance, and they're selling them as retirement policies, right? They're not retirement policies. They're insurance policies that have cost of insurance. But if you put cash into these and use them as cash value life insurance because of tax code 7702A, remember I brought up hurdle rate and inflation, I can borrow against, leverage L, capital DR, L. I can leverage against my asset at 5% and do what? Buy more cash flow that beats the hurdle rate to pay off the debt. So I created an ecosystem that is crushing inflation, number one. We're creating cash flow, number two. And number three, we're learning how to de-risk, de-risk, de-risk. So my Capital DR strategy, we look at macro and microeconomics. We say, okay, gold and silver and Bitcoin's at an all-time high. There's no emotion in it. There's a reason behind that. It's because the value is becoming worth less. So there's no emotion. There's a winner, there's a loser. Interest runs the whole system. You're either on the debt side or the asset side. So with Capital DR, it gives us a framework, a disciplined, consistent framework that we can follow. And then when things start to change, we de-risk, de-risk, de-risk. So let's walk through that again. The 60/40 split is dead. I created Capital DR, which is cash flow into deflationary assets that have fixed supply that grow over time. When they profit, I put some into protection and more cash flow. And then I have a leverage component that I can leverage, creating a family bank to go buy more cash flow. And then when I want something, okay, not something I need, something I want, like for example, when I bought my boat, I waited patiently and my boat is paid for by dividends. Okay, I don't buy stuff that takes away from my family's future. I buy stuff that adds to my family's wealth. So that's how I created Capital DR. I think 60/40 is dead, and I think we need to start thinking, I know that we need to start thinking very differently about your finances and how you can survive in the new financial ecosystem.